And when people were in middle school or high school, I think it was without a doubt a question. They were asking why they were in school. Like it seems very pointless, very boring. Why do I need to learn about the Earth's crust in order to, like, help me succeed in life? Or why do I need to know about history? What happened in, like, way back in, like, the Neanderthals area to, like, help me become successful in life. It was just something that was very irrelevant. Because, like, when you are athletes and you play basketball, you don't need any of your academic skills, sort of, right? So, like, why does that happen? Well, studies have shown only 37% of what we learned in high school will be applicable to our everyday lives. But it's more than that. It's actually discipline. Let me give you another example, something that's non-academically related. Like, when I was in grade 8, I went to cadets like every Wednesday night. It was gruesome. It was the most boring fucking thing that you any person known to humanity could ever do. What you would do is you would just stand there for 3 hours, and, like, it was bad. It was really bad. But, like, what cadets was trying to teach me was discipline, like the ability. You're not allowed to scratch your face at certain periods of time, basically, and all that. And you had to stand. It was, I think it was at ease. I remember that was the saying. So it's like as stiff as a board, and you walk straight and all that. Like, well, that teaches you good posture, and it doesn't help you maybe make you more academically better, but it helped you, like, not become enslaved by your desires, essentially. And I wish I stayed there longer, because it's like I only was there for like less than a year, so I didn't really get promoted and such. So my point is, like, for you kids out there, like, hang tight and you will see the labors of your fruits. I think it's fruits of your labors. Either way, yeah. Let's talk about these things individually. Math, it's pretty important. You can do pretty basic calculations pretty quickly without having to use a calculator. It's the same metaphor as, like, can you imagine if you were the president of the United States and you had to grab a dictionary every time someone said a word you didn't know? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna be back in 5 minutes. Let me see this word. um, but, like, Matthew, like, if you're doing grocery shopping, quickly calculating the things in your head, or if somebody, like, tried to scam you with a higher price, you'd be able to know that that's not the right price, essentially. Um, with reading, I think this is a little trickier, but reading is also, like, English is also important, because it's far beyond just speaking and writing, the English language. It's about understanding scenarios and situations. I'm gonna do a analysis, I think, later on this week or next week. I don't know. I've been procrastinating really badly this week, especially yesterday. But I'm gonna try latest next week about analyzing Holden Caulfield in The Catcher in the Rye. I'm not gonna spoil any of that right now. But even then, even non-academically, you can apply your English skills. Like, for example, in the movie Parasite, I think one of the main takeaways from Parasite is, like, not giving away your personal information so much, like the mother of the rich family did. It's like she was talking, she's like, she was very simple. She said, I don't care about documents. So, like, they could have had, like, a green alien in their application, and she wouldn't have blinked an eye. And, like, and then how the mother said, like, the housekeeper Moonguan was allergic to peaches. Like, well, like, that's something very basic, something that I would just say to my best friend. And, like, look at how such a tiny piece of information caused the housekeeper to get fired, like they did with the peach fuzz and such. um yeah, like, and, like, there's some symbolism too in that movie. Like, I think when the at the end of the movie, when the son drops the rock his friend gave him into the water, notice how it sinks. That's an example of all hope being destroyed. And I think the saddest part of that movie is like when the son said to the father, all you have to do is walk up the stairs. It's like so simple and basic skill that can't even be accomplished. And you know, it's like you look at these movies, it's like I'm sure there are people on this planet who would think, who cares? Stop trying to be a show off, you know, like just watch the movie and enjoy it for what it is. You know, stop trying to show off your amazing skills of analyzing. Like, let me just watch the movie in peace. Like, you know, I'm sure people in the comment section have said that, but it's like they want to do more than that. Let me give you another example. Let me share something. I think it's screen 2. Here's let me show you guys a video.
Megan, please describe the dish.
Okay, it is right here. Okay. Yeah, the blue team in Hell's Kitchen made chicken fried steak. Wait, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something with the share. I'm gonna share sound an optimized video clip. Okay, so take a close look at this.
Mignon with a little Creole seasoning.
Really? Why would you make chicken fried steak with filet? It's such a great cut of meat.
Abigail, how was that?
Okay, watch how each of these 3 high schoolers describe the dish. Watch their criticisms.
I like that you guys did like chicken fried steak because that's different. You guys did good.
Awesome.
I thought that you guys cooked that really well. It was delicious.
I think it's very creative. I just think when you fry something and you put a heavy sauce on it, it's not crispy anymore.
Okay, so based on that like a 20-second clip I showed you, you can even apply English into that, you know? It's like, I think in my personal opinion, the only good review came from the boy Max, the guy in the black sweater. He was the only one out of the 3 of them that was able to properly articulate his thoughts. It's like, yeah, it's like when you fry something and put a heavy sauce on it, it's not crispy anymore. It defeats the purpose of frying it. He knows what he's talking about. The girl in gray, she's just happy to be there and get free food, honestly. Like, it's delicious. And like the girl, like I can see the cheerleader Abigail. She wants to say something else, but she doesn't know the right word for it. So she's like, I like how you guys did chicken fried steak because it's different. Whereas, you know, when compare that to Gordon Ramsay, I'm not going to share another clip, but when he was talking about a dish called wakugin, it was in a MasterChef episode. I can't remember where, but I believe it was from season 4. Like when he was trying the caviar with sea urchin, Gordon Ramsay used these words quoted by him. I mean, the sea urchin, the creaminess and richness of that sea urchin is just marred by that like saltiness of the caviar, and it's perfectly balanced. Like these words properly articulate his thoughts, you know? Like if you want to be a food critic, you have to do very well in English, as opposed to saying, can you imagine? I would be the worst food critic ever. I did well in English, but like I was like, who the fuck cares about, like, you know, like giving my criticism? Oh, the food tastes good, you know, it tastes heavy, like. And then like I would write a 2-sentence published column, and then my article would be done. That would probably get 1 billion views, but I'd probably be fired from that. Same thing with gaming, you know, like to all you kids out there, you know, who like think, I'm just gonna game for the rest of my life. You know, who cares about like skills? You know, I'm probably gonna sign up with a contractor or something. I think you probably need good English skills to be a gamer too. And, you know, like, even then, that doesn't give you a free pass from, you know, doing your chores in your bedroom. I don't think anyone wants to see a Twitch streamer that has a messy bedroom like the one I have right now. You don't see it because I have this sunset background, but like, and like, you know, you need to have a good personality as a gamer too, which probably requires good English skills. It's like, instead of being, yeah, this game was fun. Okay, see you guys later. Like, yeah, you wouldn't get many views from that. So yeah, I discussed why math and history too. Like, let's talk about, so I talked about why math and reading is important. Let's talk about history. Like, you know, one more example. History constantly repeats itself. Like, even today, like, I define history not necessarily something back in like 20 centuries ago. History could be something as early as last week, you know? I have this belief that history tends to repeat itself, so we can learn from our past mistakes. Like, for example, like the bubonic plague, that back then, like, let me share you a bit of history about that. When the bubonic plague occurred, like, you know, a lot of people, they had swollen lymph nodes or something. Many people, like, you know, died really quickly. Whatever that started the outbreak of that pandemic was the cause of was bad hygiene, basically. You know, most people back in the 1300s didn't live past the age of 40, actually almost, in fact, almost all of them. And the reason why was because it's like, you know, if you were sick, you still had to go to work at the time, since medicine and doctors weren't very well advanced at that point. And like, you know, most of the water they drank was like came from the sewers, but they didn't know that. And it's like, I think ever since the bubonic plague, that pandemic was, should I use the word eradicated? Yeah, eradicated. Like, we've had much better hygiene. You know, we always wash our hands. We're told to wear masks in public if we want to. Obviously, it's not mandated now since the coronavirus is kind of over. Or at least not as strong as it used to be, right? So we're learning lessons there, or like, from a business perspective, you know, like I remember, I think it was back in Europe, like, you know, there was a time where they weren't making much money because they only relied on one source of electricity, which was the winds, and the winds did not like get to where there was a time, I think it was in the summer season, where the winds didn't like really flow much, so they couldn't really make money from electricity. Well, that lesson teaches you not to be heavily reliant on one source to reach your goals. Like, you know, they should have also used oil, used fuel, like, you know, so on and so forth. So I'm trying to say, you know, it's like you're looking at other, I'm not saying you are, but like if you are looking at other alternatives, such as being a food critic or being, you know, a gamer or such, and, you know, just neglecting your academics or studies, like, you know, that's not going to get you very far, because I don't know if you'll have the discipline to go far in that, you know, like you can't just eat a food, say it's good, and then, you know, leave. I'm not saying you have to be like Gordon Ramsay every time, like where you eat a pack of Skittles and then write a 90-page analysis on it. I'm sure Gordon Ramsay anyways just like comes home and, you know, and like opens a tub of Pringles after a long day in Hell's Kitchen. But that's getting a little beyond the scope of what I'm trying to say. You know, and like even a gamer, you know, Minecraft is something that takes a lot of skill. That reminds me of a Darman story where the streamer Mikey is caught cheating. By the way, you should type in on YouTube Darman Mikey. You'll see all kinds of really nice stories about that. Yeah, like gaming, and it's like, you know, one more thing as being a gamer, it's not as easy as you think. About the discipline again, it's actually not as good an idea to use your turn your hobby into your job, because like think about it, a hobby you could put down whenever you wanted, but like a job, like now you have to rely on that. So it's like imagine back in 2009 or 2010, you were playing Mario Bros. Wii, the Super Smash Bros. Let's say your task as a gamer, you were tasked, not your choice, bear in mind, you were forced to find every single gold coin in the game, basically, the star coins. Some of them are ridiculously hard. I don't believe anyone's ever completed all that without a guide. But imagine you had no guide, you would feel frustrated and you would hate gaming. I have a better example, the impossible quiz. You know, like, I don't think I need to go in depth with that. You know, if in World War II, if the US wanted to torture the Japanese, they did not need atomic bombs. Just make them play that game repeatedly over and over and over again until they surrendered. Yeah. So I hope you all like understand, you know, things aren't always what they seem, especially with academics. Like, don't have this neglecting, like, careless attitude. It will hurt you in the long run. It may not seem like that now, but it will hurt you in the long run. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'd love to stay, but for now, I gotta jump. I'll see you guys on the other side of the bridge. Catch you next time.